Hello everyone, good evening and welcome back to another video on Elite Academy. Hope you all are doing good. Welcome back to our daily issue analysis. So let's start with a new topic and new topic from the current affairs. So let's start our discussion. So today we have taken this topic of Naga peace process and it is in news. Yeah, day before yesterday itself there was one article in the Hindu. It is NSCN-IM marks 25 years of ceasefire. Okay, so what is NSCN-IM? That is Nationalist Socialist Council of Nagaland, NSCN, and IM is the name has been taken after the name of the leader. So Isaac is the name of the first leader, and the second leader was Muiwa. Okay, so like this, IM. Okay, you have to remember only in this much NSC and IM. So 25 years has this ceasefire agreement was signed in 1997. It will see the time process timeline, then you will get better clarity. So after this 25 years, what is the opinion? So even the leaders of NSC and IM have this opinion that 25 years is a long period in human life and 25 years of ceasefire is not a joke. Many things good and bad happened during this period, but the NSCN is still struggling to solve the problem. The problem of what? The problem of peace, the Naga insurgency, the demand. Overall, there is instability in the region, in Nagaland. So still we have not come to a conclusive solution. We will see that too, why Naga peace process is still elusive, what are the challenges, and what could be the possible solution. So along with the different process of timeline, we will see it. Okay, so let's start our discussion. In order to understand the Naga peace process, we should first have a good understanding of the timeline of different events. So it started with 1918 when the Naga Club was formed, and this Naga Club was very vocal about the rights and the cultural rights, the political identity, and overall recognition to the issues related to Nagas. And in 1929, the Naga Club, they met Simon Commission, they approached Simon Commission and they told that they consider themselves independent and they want to determine their future themselves. When Simon Commission was moving around the country in order to understand the demand of the different provinces and understand the political setup of the different provinces and states. At that time, yeah, provinces only. Okay, so it started with this. And later, this Naga nationalism, it evolved further in 1946 and 1947 when the Naga National Council, that is NNC, was led by Angami Naga Zapu Pizzo, and they declared independence of Nagaland. They declared independence for Nagaland. And it was that time when they become very active, and around 1952, under the leadership of Pizzo, they formed an underground Naga Federal Government (NFG), and they also had their own Naga Federal Army, that is NFA, in 1952. And by 1959, the insurgency increased, and in response to this, the central government sent in the army and they enacted Armed Forces Special Power Acts, or AFSPA. So that it is this 1918 से start हुआ and till this level इतना violent हो गया कि गवर्नमेंट को आफ्सपा वहां बिठाना पड़ा. But since the violence was more, then in 1975 or 1975 के around, there was Shillong Accord was signed with the underground groups of the Nagaland, but it was rejected by many top NNC leaders on the ground that it did not address the issue of Naga sovereignty. So they wanted a separate Naga land, Naga space, a land for Naga people. So they rejected it. That the issue has not, that not, this Shillong Accord has not addressed the issue of Naga sovereignty, and they forced Nagas to accept the Indian constitution. This Shillong Accord forced. So this was their opinion, and because of which after 5 years, that is somewhere around 1981, there was a split within NNC, and this led to the formation of NSCN, because of which we started the news. However, we will discuss further that how this NSCN became NSCN IM. So we have reached till 1981. And then next in 1988, the NSCN, which we saw that how NSCN came out of NNC. So NSCN further split again into NSCN IM, which was led by Isaac and Muwaiya. And the second group was NSCN K, led by Khaplang. So this all happened by 1988. And this was going on for another decade. And in 1997, NSC and IM entered into a ceasefire with the Indian government, because of which we are discussing this topic. Because today, on 2nd August, it was in news that 25 years of this ceasefire, which NSC and IM signed with the government, that has completed the 25 years of the agreement has happened. Further, in 2001, agreement between NSCN and IM and the Government of India interlocutor K. Padmana Bhaiya was whereby the ceasefire was extended without territorial limits. So this happened. Okay. And the result was complete mayhem in the Manipur Valley, resulting into burning down of the Manipur Assembly. The day is still observed as the Great June Uprising, Unity Day in Manipur. So all this happened. Okay. The ceasefire was extended without the territorial limits. Okay. And all these led to it was going on. And when Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi government came, the NDA government came, then in August 2015, exactly on 3rd August 2015, the group, the NSCN group, they signed a framework agreement of Naga Peace Accord with the Indian government. And this agreement was based on the idea of shared sovereignty. The idea of shared sovereignty, that is Nagaland and India, this shared sovereignty denotes the sharing of administrative and legislative power between India and the Nagaland. So the demand was of Greater Nagaland. The NSCN has been always been demanding the Greater Nagaland. So it is believed that this framework agreement had the idea of shared sovereignty, and where it means that the administrative and legislative power between the India and Nagaland will be shared. Under this agreement, the Naga Ho, that is apex body of all Naga tribes, would look after the welfare of all Naga inhabited areas, irrespective of their integration with the proposed Nagaland. Okay, so there was another interlocutor, RN Ravi, who was appointed to take the talks to their conclusion. But while both the government and the Naga group said that talks successfully concluded on government's deadline, that is in 2019, but the accord was not signed. The Naga peace accord was not signed. And the whatever buildup was there, whatever relation was there between Ravi and this RN Ravi, the interlocutor, and NSC and IM, all got spoiled. It after the talks concluded, means सब पे पानी फिर गया, क्योंकि कुछ हुआ तो था नहीं. इसलिए जनवरी 2022 में अक्षय मिश्रा was appointed as a new interlocutor. He stepped in and he is continuing the engagement. So this is the timeline because of the all the events because of which we are discussing today, that why there is a requirement of peace in the Nagaland area, and what is the sequence of events, how this NSC and IM came, how this ceasefire which was signed 25 years ago, that is in 1997, it came into picture, and what is the present status today. Now we will discuss other aspects of the issue. So, whenever we are talking about the peace process, then definitely the opposite party, that is NSC and IM, is there. If they are the representatives, so what are the issues? What are the core demands? So, earlier their stance was that Naga people's right to self determination should be recognized, that is with India but not within India. And they were demanding for the creation of Greater Nagaland, that is the unification of inhabited areas, which include the portions from Manipur, it includes certain portions from Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, and even the parts from some location, some parts, some area from Myanmar also with Nagaland. So they are demanding a Greater Nagaland, जहाँ पे सबका लैंड आ रहा है, म्यांमार का भी लैंड आ रहा है, अरुणाचल प्रदेश का भी आ रहा है, असम का भी आ रहा है, एंड मणिपुर का भी आ रहा है. So within country, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, and Manipur, they are our states, fine. But what about Myanmar? So yes, but yeah, demand thi, मांग लिया, क्या करना है? And they demanded that no integration, no solution. So that was their earlier stance. Now, the present stance is that they are demanding a separate Naga constitution, जिसको they call ये है Zabo, that is YEHZABO, not very important, but you should just remember separate Naga constitution they are demanding and separate Naga flag they are demanding. And their opinion is that this Naga national flag will symbolize Naga political identity, which is not negotiable, and it cannot be just a mere cultural flag as government of India is wanting. Okay, so this is the status of the demand. Now we will discuss the reasons, issues, why peace is still elusive in Nagaland and the whole Naga peace process, and what should be the solution. So let's have a look. Now we will discuss that in this whole Naga peace process, why peace is still elusive. 1918 Naga Club was formed and we are in 2022 and still there is no peace. Why? So peace is still elusive. What are the issues and challenges? So one by one, the first one being distinct ethnicity. So distinct ethnicity, there are multiple groups and their culture, their traditions, their understanding, everything is completely different. And within groups also, they have different ethnicities. That's why they are not able to come together, and their ideas are different, their demands are different. In fact, the word Naga, it doesn't represent any one particular tribe. So there are more than 25 tribes who are represented by this word Naga. So it's not one tribe. So demand, interests are very different, and in fact many of these culturally and these tribes within also, they are culturally and linguistically also they are different. Okay, so this is these are the two issues because of which there is no common platform, no common understanding. Also, poor leadership is there. The people who are representing these tribes or the groups, leadership itself is poor, and they claim that they represent the interest of all, but they are not representing the entire Naga interest, and because of that they don't have support of all the Naga tribes, because they claim that they are representing everybody, but since we have seen that their ideas, their interests, their demands, everything is different, so even though they are claiming, but that is not true. Next, when there is a demand of greater Nagaland, then definitely there will be opposition by neighboring states as well. So neighboring states, why they will agree to give their land to over this idea of greater Nagaland? So this idea of greater Nagaland is being opposed by the neighboring states as well. Then the demands are very unrealistic. When they are demanding flag, constitution, so flag and constitution, abhi tak, what was the status that even Kashmir was having? So they were giving this argument that Kashmir is also having, JNK is also having their own constitution, their own flag. So why can't we have our own constitution and our own flag? Fine. Earlier, government was listening. Now, after Article 370 has been removed, now the status of new flag, own flag, own constitution is no more valid, and government is never going to agree to this particular issue. Also, they are demanding as part of Greater Nagalim, certain land has to be should be included from Myanmar as well. So, do you think that Myanmar is going to ever agree that for your internal process, India, we will give you your land? Never. That is unrealistic. So that's why, because of this unrealistic demands, also the peace process has not reached to any conclusion, and still it is elusive. Let's have a look at the other reasons. Next is the presence of armed militia. So the armed militia, they do a lot of violence, and they are indulged in extortion, arms usage of arms is there, and because of which they also charge taxes. So they have their own parallel structure. They have their own parallel paramilitary and administrative structure in the region, and these groups are not ready to dismantle these parallel groups. So what they are doing, they even charge taxes on the name. We call it extortion. They are calling it taxes. So what they are doing in order to carry out any developmental activities, these armed militias, they collect taxes for carrying out the developmental activities. In fact, it is a forcible collection. So this forcible collection is leading to harassment, it is leading to violence, and there is a parallel paramilitary structure, there is a parallel administrative structure, because of which even if we have a state government, that is defunct, it cannot operate, it cannot work. Then there is a presence of AFSPA in the state, so that is also being opposed by the groups. So central armed forces is there to tackle the insurgency, and the state government is also not supporting that. Why? Because if anything will happen, then the state government will say that it is because of the armed forces, it is because of the AFSPA which is there in the state. That's why there is a violence. So even state government is also not supporting. So what happens? Finally, there will be a vacuum, and the state is blaming the forces. So overall, governance machinery is not responsive because of the AFSPA. Also, the things are not. Whatever violence is happening, state government is not responding. So because of that, there is a vacuum, and because of that vacuum, the overall governance machinery is not responsive. Next, there is lack of transparency with respect to certain measures, whatever measures government is taking, any measure which has been taken in the region. For example, let's say that there was a framework agreement which was signed in 2015. Okay, and this the details of these framework agreement in 2015, it was never put in public domain. Nobody knows that what has been agreed upon. So whatever has been agreed upon, it is between the government and between the NSC and IM. Nobody knows about it. So there is lack of transparency. Definitely, there will be trust deficit because they don't represent the views or the interest or demands of all the groups. So that is also a problem. That is also a problem that how can you represent us? So there are many smaller groups who are not supporting NSC and IM, or they are not supporting the framework agreement. They are not supporting the ceasefire. So these are the other reasons. And also within the framework, also whenever it is mentioned, the any word is there, shared sovereignty. So multiple interpretation is there, and it is there because of the poor drafting of the framework agreement. So multiple parties are involved in negotiation, and center is there, state is there, NSC and IM is there, other groups are there, small parties are there. So because of that, multiple interpretation is happening of the keywords of the provisions which are mentioned in the agreement. So that is also leading to like a deadlock situation. Next, weakness of the governance. Development is very poor there, and political strength has not been as strong. That's why, because of the vacuum, militia is thriving, and it is leading to a political escapism. That what already we have discussed. So there is a scenario of political escapism. There is a poor developmental process. There is weak governance, and the political strength has been not developed yet. And all these conditions are leading to a strong militia which is thriving there. So these are another set of reasons. Other reasons are the overall approach of government itself is very faulty. The approach is faulty. Why? Because there is no long term vision. Government, whenever they are attempting to find a solution to the problems of Northeast, they find the solution in isolation. So they take one state at a time, Arunachal Pradesh at a time, Manipur at a time, Assam at a time, Tripura at a time. So there is no holistic vision, there is no complete vision. So whenever any approach, any problem has to be solved, we should take all the states into consideration. And definitely there are challenges, but at the end, what we have to do, we have to overcome these challenges. So government approach of treating the problems in silos is one of the faulty approach. Okay, and also this framework agreement, what it was signed in 2015 when a special status of Jammu and Kashmir existed, a state with separate constitution and a state with separate flag, and autonomy over internal administration was there. But the situation has changed after 5th August 2019 when the article 370 has been revoked, has been removed. Now the central government cannot agree to such demand anymore. So these are almost like 10 to 12 reasons we have discussed, challenges which are there because of which peace is not being, uh, we cannot see peace anywhere, and peace has not been concluded there. Okay, now let's understand that if these are the reasons, then what could be the solution? So I hope till now you have understood the overall timeline, that how these problems have evolved over a period of time, what are the present reasons, what is the demand, and who are the representatives, and because of what all reasons, what are the challenges, that peace is still elusive. Now let's discuss the solutions or the way forward which could be possible. Now, whenever we are discussing way forward, so there was a report that is called as 213th report of the Parliamentary Standing Committee, that is PSC, Parliamentary Standing Committee on Home Affairs. So there was a report on security situation in the northeastern states of India. So this 213th report of Parliamentary Standing Committee on Home Affairs, they came up with a report on security situation in northeast states, and they have shed a lot lights, and they are suggesting that for any solutions we need to keep all the states in loop. So that is very important. The Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, all the states should be kept in loop, and they should be informed of all the developments which is happening in the course of the negotiation. Okay, so this they have recommended. Next, what other steps can be taken? So other steps which we can take is related to more autonomy. So you can categorize the overall steps under three head. One can be security, second can be development, third can be related to negotiation. So you will get more points whenever you are writing the answers. Think from these categories. पहला क्या चैलेंज है उधर कि सिक्योरिटी का थ्रेट है. सो सिक्योरिटी के लिए क्या क्या स्टेप्स लेने हैं, दैट यू शुड नो. Then you should know that developmental lag is there, then what all steps can be taken in order to improve the developmental process. Then the third step is related to negotiation, that ongoing whatever negotiation is happening from so many years, इनका solution क्यों नहीं निकल रहा है भाई, तो इनका solution निकालना जरूरी है. Okay, now let's analyze the what could be those solution. So we can say that more autonomy can be given to the representatives or the in the negotiation rather than greater Nagalim, because greater Nagalim to it's not possible at all. So we can give more autonomy for their so that their cultural identity will be protected. So you can say this. Then you talk about security point of view, that groups must surrender their arms and government must not withdraw the security forces until the armed groups have surrendered completely. Okay, once they are surrendering, then they should be attracted with this rehabilitation package. So rehabilitation package for those who are surrendering, and there has to be a comprehensive holistic package for the developmental activities in the region. So you talk about all these things. I hope all these points are making sense to you. So we'll discuss another set of solution and the way forward. Okay, so now think from all the stakeholders' point of view. Okay, think from the armed group point of view, think from the central government point of view, think from the state government's point of view, think from the developmental process point of view. Okay, so when you will think like this, you will be able to generate more points in your answers. Okay, now, the next point can be that the ability of the state security apparatus, that is, their capability, overall capability of the state forces, the state security apparatus, that is, police or their local forces, it must be upgraded so that the army can be pulled out of the states and the AFSPA can be removed. So, this is again very important. Okay. Next, you can suggest that focus should be on development, so that if the overall development of the region will happen, then it will lead to more economic stability, and it will the development will be able to generate more jobs for the people, and thus the dependency of the states on the aids and packages of the central government will also reduce. It will reduce, so comparatively the peace will be more stable in the region. We all know that the roots of all the problem is एक कि जॉबलेस ग्रोथ हो रही है, लोगों के पास जॉब नहीं है, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट है, उसकी वजह से और भी लोग जो है अट्रैक्ट होते हैं, ऐसे रेडिकल ग्रुप्स के साथ जुड़ते हैं. या दैट इज व्हाट वी हैव बीन ऑब्जर्विंग with respect to terrorism, with respect to ISIS, the radicalization, whatever is happening, even Naxalism. Hope you all have watched the video on Naxalism. If not, then do watch it. That is also very important for internal security point of view. Next, you talk about connectivity. Connectivity is also important. Connectivity of the region must be improved with the mainland so that the economic development will be better. So you talk from that perspective. And the last point, you can say that there should be cooperation with neighboring countries also. Neighboring countries, when we say, then we keep in mind Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar. So it is happening that these there are groups, and from these countries lot of money, the arms, it is being diverted. It is the funds and the arms are coming to the insurgent groups from the neighboring countries. So we need to cooperate with the neighboring countries to cut off the supply of these arms, funds, or drugs, or whatever is happening, illegal trade is happening for the insurgents group from these countries. So whatever way forward you are suggesting, suggest in such a manner that it is holistic. It is, you have to write that it is a, there has to be a multi-pronged approach. Then only any peace will be conclusive. Any peace will be sustainable, and it will lead to further stability and harmony in the society. So, with this, I hope that you have understood the topic in detail. We have discussed it properly with respect to the present scenario and why it is in news, timeline, reasons, and what could be the way forward. अगर इतनी अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, ट्रस्ट मी, बाकी कोई भी क्वेश्चन आप हैंडल कर सकते हो रिलेटेड टू नागा पीस प्रोसेस, वॉट एवर इज हैपनिंग इन दैट एरिया. So this is very important from two perspective. That is, one is from your GS3 point of view. There is a static topic, that is our internal security, and it is also very important from current affairs point of view. So hope you developed a holistic understanding. In case of any problem, you know how to reach out to us. So our Telegram ID is there. Join our Telegram channel. And yes, if you have not joined our Telegram channel for the handwritten notes of these notes, the dia issues whichever we are discussing under dia, we are providing the handwritten notes. So if you have not joined, then please join it so that you can make use of that as well after watching the video. Okay, guys, so let's meet in another video. Take care, bye bye, and revise very well. Okay, see you all.